Okay, so what I'll do in this function is look at the input elements, the input arguments, and if any of them is non-zero, I will return true. If they are all zeros, I will return false. Okay. So let's do this the old way first without using varargin. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. And let's only support up to 6 variables. So I want to be able to call this function using varargin 1 or varargin 1, comma, let's say 5, 1, 5, 0, 6, and I want any of these to work, up to 6 elements. When you don't provide an element, an argument as an input to a function, inside that function you can check whether it is not provided. So we would say if not exist A, if the variable A does not exist at this point, let's set a default value of 0. Okay? And I would have to do this for each of the other ones. B, C, D, E, F, B, C, D, E, F. Okay? And then the return variable is going to be ret equals A or B or C or D or E or F. Okay? I misspelled the name of my function. Varargin any. If they are all zeros, it should give me a 0. And if I don't provide anything, it should still give me a 0. Okay? So this is one way of checking whether input arguments are provided, but you have a limitation. You can only support up to the number of elements that appear in the parenthesis here.
That's what I was asking. Is there a way to have infinite number of...
Yes. So that's what we're going to do next. So the question was whether there's a way to support any number of elements beyond what we specify as input arguments. So let's again support up to, let's say, 3 input arguments, but we'll capture the rest in a variable named varargin. Varargin is a special variable. It will contain all of the elements beyond the first 3 that you have listed there. Okay? All right, so let's remove DEF. And varargin here is going to be a cell array. It will contain the inputs beyond ABC. I'm going to put a breakpoint here so we can examine the contents of varargin. Let's say 005, 6, 7, 8. So A is 0, B is 0, C is 5, and varargin is a cell array containing the remaining elements, which are 6, 7, 8. Okay? All right, so we call these first set of arguments named arguments, and all of the rest of the unnamed arguments will reside in the varargin variable. And you can write a for loop to go over this varargin variable, just like you would go over a cell array.
Is there an incentive to having A, B, and C before varargin, rather than just varargin?
Is there an incentive to have A, B, C? In some cases, yes. You would have a mandated set of variables where semantically your function may not make sense when it doesn't have at least one argument. Okay? And we usually use varargin to provide additional options. So let's say you have a function and it has some parameters, But in the most common case, you don't want to provide those parameters. You only want to, say, provide two numbers and get the result. And then when that parameter is provided, you would want to perform additional changes to your function. Okay? All right. So we have ret equals A or B or C. Now we are going to go over the elements of varargin, number of elements in varargin. And we will just say ret equals ret or varargin, sub I. Okay? Again, this function will return true if any of the inputs is true. If they are all zeros, the output is going to be a false. All right? You can remove all of this ABC from the input, because for this function, varargin can handle all of them. All of your inputs mean the same thing. But now you have to initialize your output variable ret. Let's initialize it to 0. Okay? So 0, 1 will give you 1, 0, 0 will give you 0. Okay? Does that explain? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Sure.